All right, what's good, guys? We're gonna run a trade recap today, go over the trade I took this morning. This is the trade here. I took longs on NQ, and then here is the P&L, which I didn't even know you could put a screenshot on the actual trading view screen. So that's pretty dope. But now that that's out of the way, let's go over the trade. I'll go over my bias, morning analysis, exactly my thoughts on everything today. So let me remove all of this. Let me take off the executions real quick. It's just kind of annoying. All right. So going into this morning, it was really my bias wasn't 100% clear because yesterday price came up and we respect. I'm just gonna go into replay so it doesn't, so I don't have to keep doing this. But yesterday price respected this 4 hour gap right here and we made a move lower. Now at these lows down here, we actually have an SMT. So ES ended up taking out that low and NQ did not. You can see right here. So in my opinion, price really could have gone either way. We could have wanted to continue up. We could have wanted to go lower and take out these lows. It was completely the higher time frame. It's not very clear. And then in terms of draws lower, we really don't have much. Like we're already in these daily gaps. We took out this no wick candle. So it's kind of up in the air. So I wanted to see, okay, internally, what do we have? Now, I did know that we had 8:30 red folder news today. That was PPI. However, this was the candle that printed from PPI. This really doesn't do much for me. Like this candle is kind of insignificant. It was taken out pre-market anyways, both the low and the high. So it just really didn't stand out at all. So I wasn't using the data high and low. However, we had this candle at 822. That stood out to me a lot more. Now, was this an actual data on Forex Factory? No. But if you look at pre-market, this candle is bigger than every single candle, and this candle is obviously data driven. So I wanted to use this high as a draw on liquidity. The low is already swept out, obviously. And looking at the 1 hour time frame, I noticed that in terms of other draws, all we had was, let me go back to 8 a.m. We had this high here. And then I was willing to, if we had some type of manipulation at open, to target this low. But in terms of like external draws, we were very far from anything. So when price opened up, go to 915. Okay. So here's what I was looking at, right? I wanted to see some sort of manipulation to target the other direction. So if I wanted to see shorts, I wanted to see price do something that looks, maybe we take all of this low resistance liquidity, do something like this, and then we target lower. If I wanted to see longs towards the data high, which was preferred because guys, we had all of this low resistance liquidity stacked up right here, aligning with this data high, right? So that is ideally what I wanted to see. I also saw on the 15-minute time frame, if we look here, this might get a little bit complicated, but it was actually on ES. I try to make things relatively simple, but I noticed that in this leg right here, price was respecting the 50% retracement here, okay? I do look for that. It is a sensitive point in these price legs, and I do look for it just for some additional confirmation. Not necessary by any means, but it definitely does give me a little bit conviction. So here's what I wanted to see. When this initial dump happened lower, there wasn't really a confident way for me to catch an entry to this low, right? So I'm looking at ES, and I see that ES is a lot closer to that low. I'm going to mark this on ES2 just so you guys can see everything. So this was the low on ES. I saw a few people get stopped out when we had this V-shaped recovery here, okay? I saw a few people take this long, targeting the data high, and then maybe a stop, somewhere in this area right here, okay? And that trade, you would have gotten absolutely railed. The reason I did not take this initial entry right here on the V-shaped recovery is because at that time, that is when ES left behind equal lows. So you see, this is the initial V-shape right here. We left behind equal lows. I'm telling you right now, you will have a higher win rate if you do not target the opposite direction of equal highs and equal lows that were just put in, okay? So I wanted to see those equal lows get taken out, maybe form an SMT, doesn't have to be an SMT, but ideally, and then we get the recovery higher. We got exactly that. I mean, this was perfect. This was textbook, okay? So price holds his SMT. ES, I don't know what's going on with my voice today. ES takes out this low right here. NQ does not take out the low, so we have the SMT. ES takes out the equal lows. So everything that price has needed to do lower has been done now. There is no reason for price to go lower. And what is my condition? What do I want to see happen to take a long? I want to see this fair value gap right here get ran through. The entry could not have been more clean. I entered as soon as this candle closed right here. I am targeting all of this low resistance liquidity, but my main target is at data high, and my stop loss was right. It was a little bit higher, I think, like right around here is where my stop was, right? At this point, I didn't want to see this area get ran through. I figured if price wanted to come back lower, if price is going to come down here, then I'm going to get stopped out of the position, right? I want to see that SMT hold. You could have had your stop here, would have been fine, but I like to play a little bit lower, a little bit less aggressive, give my trade a little bit more room to breathe. And this trade played out very, very smoothly. Okay. You could have also re-entered, like if you didn't have confidence in this V-shape, price comes down into this 1 minute fair value gap, we respect it and then start displacing higher. You could have entered here as well. But overall, just a very clean trade, everything lined up. What I really liked about this was all of this low resistance that got left behind. And I also really liked that we had this initial stop rate right here. So I always try to, when I look at the market, I'm looking for areas where other traders are getting fucked, right? And here is a clear example of where other traders are getting fucked. Anybody on this initial position got stopped out immediately. Then we put in the SMT. Then we swept out the equal lows on ES. And then we got the pump to the draw. And this trade was super clean. You could have held to the next draw on liquidity as well. But to be honest, I just wanted to take what I'm confident in. That's normally how I go about trading. I don't like to hold my trades too long unless it's super clear on the higher time frame. And today it wasn't super clear on the higher time frame. So I took what the market gave me. I took what I was confident in, and then I was done for the day. So very, very clean trade. I think anything after this, like if you're trying to target, I don't know, let's say this high right here, I think there just needs to be a lot more confirmation to take any type of continuation play. Like here, I would have wanted to see something more along the lines of this, and then we get the retrace and flip to really show that price is displacing through these first two draws. But I was very confident in all this liquidity getting ran as well as that data high, and the SMT, it just confirmed everything for me. So that is why I took that trade. It was beautiful. And if you guys are interested in joining my community and learning from me, I have the links to everything that I offer in the description down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.